Welcome to Las Vegas, a city that is famous for gambling, for its party and scandals. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, right?
You think you know this city, a glittering mirage in the desert built on pure fantasy. The choreographed fountains, the pirated skylines of Rome and Paris, the endless promise of a jackpot. This is Las Vegas as it wants to be seen, a perfect illusion. But what if I told you that the real story of Las Vegas, the one they don't want you to see, isn't found in the casinos, but in the shadows they cast?
Do you live down here?
Yeah.
Why do you live down here?
We are starting today's video here on the Strip, the street that is probably the most iconic street of Las Vegas. It is where you will find all of the casinos, the hotels, restaurants. It is a very impressive street, to be honest. It is so bright everywhere here. They even say that you can see the Strip from outer space. But yeah, there are lots of lights here. It is overwhelming yet extremely impressive. I've never seen a city that is anything close to this here. However, there are a lot of other things here in Las Vegas, but before we dive into the reality of Las Vegas, I want to show you this very iconic space and explain you a little bit how the Strip and Las Vegas is designed in general. It is designed in a way to make you lose money.
Along the Strip, you will find artificial environments that mimic Europe, luxury, and even daylight cycles.
In Las Vegas, a lot of things are actually fake, just like this guy here above me, which looks extremely real, to be honest. We are in the Venetians, a luxury hotel that is famous for this part here. It makes you feel like you are in Venice, Italy, without having to travel to Italy. And the sky here is designed in a way that it will make you feel like you are here during afternoon hours the whole day. The light is just enough to keep you awake, but not too intense. It is a very beautiful place and honestly extremely impressive. It really makes you feel like you are in Venice. There are even gondola rides you can take here on this river. And this whole area is part of a mall. It's a huge mall that is inside of the Venetian Hotel. And the Venetian is not only a hotel and a mall, there's also a casino in it, as in most hotels along the Strip. The casinos, as well as this mall here, are designed to make you forget about time. There are no clocks here, there are no windows in here, so you won't see if the sun has already set or not. It will make you forget about time, it will make you forget where you are, it will make you forget about your worries, because there are so many things here to explore and to do. It's all about fun. So inside of the hotels along the Strip, inside of the casinos and the malls, you will forget about anything, especially about your worries, until probably the next morning when you see your credit card bill. Most hotels, especially the ones along the Strip, have a casino inside, and you usually have to pass through the casino to get to your hotel room. So it's basically like an invitation to spend some more dollars before you go to bed. And honestly, I expected them to be way more crazy, louder, noisier, and overwhelming, but the noise is actually not too bad. The light is not too overwhelming. It is designed, again, in a way that will make you stay and not want to escape the casino. Even smoking is allowed here in the casino, so smokers don't have to go outside, but non-smokers also won't be bothered by the smoke because it just doesn't smell like smoke. Whether you want to see the Eiffel Tower or the Fontana di Trevi, you will find everything here in Las Vegas. This one here is a replica of the famous fountain in Rome. But in Rome, you will never find it with such few people here. It is always extremely crowded, and here in Las Vegas, you can actually get your perfect tourist photo taken. These hotels are basically designed worlds that are meant to capture you and your money. As an international traveler, it is super important to navigate your time and money in a good way to not lose too much money here. I personally am using a Wise card since many years, and to be honest, I wish that I had used it so much earlier. Wise lets you spend money in over 150 countries, and you can hold up to 40 currencies at once. You can track all of your expenses in the application, and you can exchange your currency into another currency instantly. And the best part is that in case you lose your Wise card during a trip, you can freeze it instantly in the application, and you can keep using a digital backup. Wise will save you a lot of money on fees and exchange rates. You can pay during your trips automatically with Apple Pay or with your Wise card, of course, without having to worry about exchange rates as you exchange your money money in the application. Even if you only travel once per year, Wise already pays for itself because you will already save on exchange fees. The Wise card itself doesn't cost you anything, so in my opinion it's actually a no-brainer to just get one as a traveler. And if you want to check it out, make sure to click the link in the description below to get your own Wise card and to start saving money during your next trip so that you can spend that money on experiences rather than exchange fees. So anyway, make sure to always use your money wisely, especially in places like Las Vegas where there are temptations absolutely everywhere. But anyway, I didn't come here to show you the shiny, bright and fun side of Las Vegas that most of you probably already know. I came here to show you the things that most tourists probably never get to see and don't even know are there.
Everything comes at a cost, and the cost of making Las Vegas shine bright is high.
Every light on the strip, every casino and all of these fountain shows need an extreme amount of energy and water. We are in one of the driest places of America. We are actually in a desert here. And yet the amount of electricity, for example, only on the strip, can compete easily with entire towns. The fountain that is moving here so beautifully behind me is sitting on a lake that evaporates thousands of gallons per day under the hot sun of the desert. All of this, of course, has an impact on the environment. Here in Las Vegas or in the whole region, droughts happen more frequently, as well as the risk of flood that is increasing here. They built constructions in Las Vegas, a tunnel system below the city that is meant to protect the city from those floods. These tunnel systems are home to an estimated 1,500 people. But this tunnel system is actually something that I would like to show you during daylight. So we gotta wait until tomorrow to show you the real impact of all this use of electricity and water. It's a new day, we are still in Las Vegas, as you can see, but today we are here with a completely different purpose. To understand the whole situation of the floods here in the city, you have to understand that Las Vegas is actually sitting in a basin that is surrounded by mountains. And these mountains cause this whole area here to flood if there are heavy rains. In the 70s, 80s and 90s, there have been floods that actually drowned the city and it made parts of the city completely fall in. And that was when engineers realized they had to do something to protect the city. So they decided to build a more than 200 miles long tunnel system below the city that is meant to protect it from those floods. So whenever there is a lot of rain, the water is supposed to go through the tunnels, which is meant to stabilize the streets, the roads, the buildings here. But these tunnels aren't only flood tunnels, they're actually home to about 1,500 people, and we are going to explore these tunnels now.
In many ways, Las Vegas feels unreal and maybe even a bit fake. It's trying to sell you that picture-perfect image, hiding everything that doesn't fit into this image. But if you keep going past the tunnels, past the hotels and the casinos, you start to find something surprising, something very human.
So below Las Vegas, there is an entire tunnel system of more than 200 miles of tunnels that are meant to prevent the city from floods. And you can see one of the entrances here behind me. There are people living in these tunnels. You can see stuff out there. There are like clothes, there's an umbrella, there is a solar panel. I'm not sure if that works, if they actually have electricity down there. But there is an entire society that has to live in these tunnels due to necessity. Either they are unemployed or circumstances of life made them lose their homes, and this was the only opportunity for them. These are people that do not fit at all into that perfect picture of Las Vegas, that picture that Las Vegas is trying to sell you. Las Vegas seems to be perfect, it seems to be flawless. There are no obvious problems if you walk down the strip. But if you look closer, there are a lot of difficulties, especially for the people that live here. The problem is that these tunnels are flood tunnels. They are meant to protect the city from floods. So what happens if there is a flood in the city? These tunnels are the first things that get filled up with water. So it's actually extremely dangerous also for the people that live there. There's even water coming out of this tunnel right now. Like we can see a lot of water here, which is a sign that there has to be at least some kind of flood every now and again. So these tunnels, yeah, they definitely fill up at some point. The crazy thing is you can see the Caesars Palace in the background. So these tunnels are really exactly below the strip, below the entire city basically. In the area where people are spending thousands of dollars every single day, below all this glamorous part of Las Vegas, there are people living in these kind of situations. We cannot see that much in the tunnels. They are completely black, completely dark. You cannot see anything, just the entrance here. And there are some chairs, there's some food there. Garbage, here's a lot of garbage in this area. Yeah, but we don't see a soul here. We saw someone coming out of here, but we were still quite far. And now it's completely quiet down here.
But then we've heard a noise in the tunnels and suddenly we were invited inside.
We just found someone who was going to talk to us a little bit about life down here. And we just entered the first tunnel. May I ask what kind of work you are doing here?
I'm just cleaning some insulation off the wire.
Uh-huh.
So we can turn it in. When there's no insulation on it, it's like $3.97 a pound.
Uh-huh.
Or $3.90 a pound, yeah. So, yeah, it's all right money if you got enough of it.
But you live down here?
Yeah.
And how many people live in the tunnels, more or
In
less?
these tunnels, there's, I think, 10.
10?
That's
Okay.
it.
How does it work? Like, can anybody just come here and decide to live here, or how does it work?
No, nobody, you can't just come down here. Like, I used to live here before, and I decided to move back in a couple of months ago. I had to get permission for every single other person that lives here. There's no leaders or anything. Everything's got to be like a unanimous decision. If not everybody agrees on it, it doesn't happen.
Isn't it dangerous to live down here because of the floods? Because what happens if the tunnels flood?
We get out.
You just get out and, but always on time, or have there?
The last time we flooded here, like a few days ago, the water was probably about ankle deep. Well, before I was able to get out of here.
Okay.
But that was because the ground was already saturated from a few days earlier, and the water just came really, really fast.
Are there a lot of floods here?
No, not really. Having two back to back like that's not actually a common thing. It's really rare.
Okay.
There's more in the wintertime though than in the summertime.
And how deep are the tunnels? Is it like an endless system below the city?
These ones go all the way to the link on Las Vegas Boulevard. They come out on in the basement, and then they go back underground again under the high roller, and then come out on the other side of Cobalt Lane. But all of them end up in Lake Mead. Everything that comes through here ends up in Lake Mead.
The people that live here, are they all unemployed, or like how do they end up here in the
Pretty
tunnels?
much doing stuff like this work.
Okay.
Other than that, it's odd jobs here and there. So, most of us are gamblers. Some of us have drug habits. Others like me, nothing challenges me a whole lot anymore. It's just living like this.
Okay.
Not getting caught by the police down here, shit like that.
In your case, how did you start living here? Why do you live down here?
5 years ago, the girl I was with left me here when we came up here for my birthday. Stopped to get gas at a gas station. I got out, forgot my wallet, turned around to come back out to get my wallet. She was already pulling out of the parking lot. Gone. Haven't seen her since. Here ever since.
And you didn't manage to get an apartment or anything?
It's hard to do when you don't have an ID. Can't get a job, can't find anywhere to live, can't even get out of here without an ID.
And is there anything you want to tell people in order to not end up on the street or in tunnels?
No, because I graduated high school with honors. I went to college, graduated from college, and everything was just fine until I got left here when I came here for my birthday, and everything's been screwed since.
Just circumstances of life that you couldn't control, basically.
And a lot of people think that everyone down here chooses to be down here most of the time, and I didn't choose this.
No, of course.
I was thrown into this. It's not something I asked for. I had an apartment, a job, all kinds of shit. I was comfortable. It was good. I was living really good, and then I got left here.
Is it possible for people to live on the streets, or do they have to basically hide down here?
Anywhere now is in Clark County is illegal. It's illegal to camp in Clark County if you're not in a designated camping zone. And that's like campgrounds and shit like that. Down here it's trespassing. Like right now, you guys are trespassing. But the worst that you'll get is a warning.
Yeah.
I'll go to jail because I've been down. They've caught me down here enough times that I'll go to jail. I've been living like this off and on for almost 15 years, and I'm still not a felon. I'm 40 years old, and it's not easy to do that, but I've managed. And so every day it's just like, okay, as long as I don't get a felony, I'm all right.
We talked to several people. They were all very kind, but not all of them wanted to talk in front of the camera, which is also understandable. But one of them did, and it was a very human story. And it shows me again that basically all that we have is a lot of luck. A lot of people have a lot of privileges that they aren't even aware of. It starts with the country you were born in, and it ends with the education that you have, the people you connect with, and the people you trust. It was very, very interesting. I'm very thankful that he told us a little bit about his story and a little bit about life down there in the tunnels. It was very kind of him, and I think I'm going to leave it here. I gotta process what I've just learned, what I've just heard, and I'm curious to hear your comments, your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.